So, we're back. We have Nico here for once.
Hey! What's up?
Where you been?
Class.
Yeah.
As
class.
usual.
This is what happens when filming and schedules don't mix.
Mm-hmm.
That.
Also when you're in college, but that's beside the point.
Yes, we're still missing one. Tyler, we'll find him at some point.
He's also in class / at work, but, you know.
But today's adventure,
We're talking about very bad open hands and what they could result in.
aka bricking.
Yes. And everyone goes through it.
At least once. Don't lie and say you haven't.
Yeah. You could make your deck as consistent as possible, and you could say whatever your deck is the best, whatever. But you're gonna have bad hands, no matter what.
Okay, where's bricking stories? Start us off, Nico.
We see this deck right here,
This is Fire King.
my Fire Kings, has been like my most devastating to opponents, outside of Henry, of course. But I remember once I was playing my cousin, pick up my hand like any normal duel, look at it. What is in my hand? But 3 Fire King High Avatar Garunics,
Jesus.
1 Bottomless Trap Hole,
Not that bad, but
Hang on.
1 Mirror Force,
And the draw.
and the draw was an MST.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, for those of you who don't know how Fire Kings work, first off, Konami gave us a box with the Fire Kings.
On side
But-
the Fire Kings.
They kind of didn't give us a key card, Fire King Avatar Yaksha.
yeah, that was what.
Really, Konami? Really? The key card, you didn't give it to me? Really? Really? Anyway, for those of you who know Fire Kings, you need certain cards to bring out Garunics. One of which being Onslaught of the Fire Kings. Second being Fire Circle, or Circle of the Fire Kings. Fire Circle. I like to be trendy. Anyway, and the last one is pretty major, Yaksha.
You're not tributing for Garunix. Or you
Nobody wants
should
to
not tribute for
Nobody
Garunix.
wants to tribute.
Oh, wait.
And even at that point, if I had drawn into some level 4 monster in that deck, even a Fire Ferret, I would have been happy.
Fancy Fire Ferret?
That's a
But no, I didn't get a single level 4 monster until the 8th turn.
You think that's bad?
Why,
Let me
you
tell
got
you a story about bricking.
Yeah,
I'm playing my Black Wings. Yes, I might have my Noble Knights out, but my Black Wings was even funnier. So my early build of Black Wings had a ton of trap cards, more than even the Lord would have if he played YuGiOh. And so my opening hand, what do I get? 5 trap cards.
Oh, you're playing against me. I remember that.
It was against you.
What kind of trap cards?
Let's see.
They were like-
Black Return, which I couldn't even use yet.
So, like Black Wing specific?
Exactly.
Oh.
Black Return, Delta Crow Anti-Reverse. What was the other one? 2 Black Sonics. And what was the last one? Black Boost.
It would have been horrible if you even had Icarus attack, too.
That was my draw.
Yeah. And unfortunately for Wayne, he was playing my Harpies, which everybody knows.
That sucked.
You should have given him a Wing Beast to use.
At that point, I feel like I could have.
Absolutely sucked. Okay. Noble Arms, I kind of expected to break early on, but never did I imagine 5 Noble Arms on first draw. I had 10 in the deck,
How?
and I drew half first turn.
How does that work?
that
And
was-
not even draw a Rhoda next.
Oh, that's when you were starting out, like when you started.
Yeah, when I
putting cards
first started
together.
building it.
Okay.
5! I don't know. 5 is my favorite number. It's been a curse lately.
How long did you, how long was it before you finally drew a monster that was usable?
Let's see. With Black Wings, the 3rd turn, with
Wow.
Noble Knights, I got Rhoda the 2nd.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
You could have probably been gone by then.
no, I survived somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Divine Intervention allowed me to see a turn where I got a monster, and then I got destroyed next turn.
So the turn after you finally got something to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Anyhow, next.
Okay, so I've had a couple of ones. My very first one was like with Light Swarms. And that's when I started realizing it was the early days. Of
Yes, he
Light
was
Oh,
bricked.
that's right.
Okay.
Because Light Source has such awkward hands, and people were at the time were like, oh, Twilight, Chaos Sorcerer, a bunch of Dark Monsters, and Judgment Dragon was limited, blah blah blah. So
way back.
yeah, your hands were so awkward at the time. And I realized like, these minimum monsters, and Lumina was also limited, so you were living, so you had like, I don't know, just a bunch of normal summons, and you mill off your spell and trap cards, and you had no Judgment Dragon in your hand later.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's when I learned. Like then, when more Light Rays came out later, Judgment Dragon got brought back up to 3, Lumina got brought back up to 3. People were happy, but at the same time, they were over constricting their decks to like 40 card decks with Light Sworns, and it got so tight that was horrible. Your open hands were like 4 Light Rays and 1 Judgment Dragon, nothing to start off.
Yeah.
So so it happens. You have awkward hands, and my main story is like I dueled in the YCS once. I can't remember, but that was probably back in 2010, I think, when I last had it. When my hands were so awkward, I didn't top, even do well in Swiss. So I don't want to remember that much. So
You remember breaking at least once?
I remember breaking it like maybe twice.
Ouch.
So yeah, so I was basically X3 in Swiss. That's basically enough. So
For those
yeah,
who don't know, X3 means 3 losses.
and yeah, I don't even remember my win record, which proved pretty bad. I already lost by then. But yeah, so yeah, so tell us more about your stories of really bad awkward hands. No matter what deck you're playing, you're gonna have a bad hand, right?
As
Oh yeah.
carefully crafted as you deck, you can think of every contingency plan in the kitchen sink you will brick at least once. It may not happen early on, you will brick at least once.
Even in a swarm deck.
Even in a swarm deck. As I have.
Even in a combo deck, like you could even mess up an OTK at some point too. I mean,
That sounds familiar to me.
I've seen people mess up an FTK.
It was a first deck, oh boy.
It's the
You
one,
really gotta mess that up.
It was like I've seen a lot of people mess up the Harpy Dancer FTK.
Oh, okay.
I've seen, yeah.
Okay, we know where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have to be really bad to fully mess up an FTK, honestly, in my opinion, but it just happens. Sometimes you overdo it, sometimes you're overzealous with the cards you put in your deck, sometimes you're overzealous with your plays, and yeah, but when it comes to just really bad open hands, no matter what you put in your hand, there's cards that will be good with the deck, their card might not be good, your entire deck can support itself. But
It will brick at least once.
yeah, but you're gonna have like these hands. Like say you open up with nothing but traps, you could probably stall your opponent for a while.
I couldn't even stall, that's how bad it was.
Yeah, but you have nothing to really put yourself on the board, and you're also giving your opponent a chance. Unless you have like maybe a bunch of reactive defensive traps, which probably might not do you much because maybe your opponent's not attacking you or doing anything. Yeah.
Or if it was a double stall. It may have worked in your favor for all we know.
Yeah, so tell us about your guys' experiences with really bad hands or examples of your deck. Well, in our next video, we'll give them examples of really bad hands we got.
Oh boy, that's gonna be
We should
a
just
doozy.
draw. We should just draw into
Yeah.
stuff. That would be
Alright.
interesting.
But
Until
that's another day, so till next time,
Until next time.
signing off.
Catch you guys later.